I am super excited to talk this week about what are we building this week. As you know, ADU Loans, we are lenders specializing in remodeling, construction, and of course, ADUs. I'm super excited because we're going to start doing commercial construction, residential construction as of January 1. And that means we can build above 4 units. Generally speaking, building 1 to 4 units is considered residential mortgages, and above 4 units is commercial construction, even if it's multifamily construction. So really exciting to see that happen. But today we're going to talk. I got a call today from a lady who owns a house in a great area of San Diego called Bayho, and it's famous for its views of Mission Bay, and so on. But they tend to be older homes. So she's getting ready to sell her house. And she's under a lot of pressure from realtors and including brokers who came in and said, well, you only have one bathroom. It's a 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom, just like the older homes were back in the day. So she's saying, well, I need, $100,000 to add a bathroom, which is probably about right, because she had to expand the floor plan a little bit. I mean, frankly, it sounded like a nightmare, not to mention the designs and permits. So, in doing that, I wanted to share with her, does that even make sense? Like before you sell a house, what is the ROI on doing these projects? Because a lot of realtors will encourage homeowners to, oh, I want you to fix up the bathroom. I want you to do all this stuff. And I want, as always, want to make data-driven decisions before you make those kinds of investments. So let's take a look on the data, and I'm going to share this. This is on aduloans.net. But there is the Cost Value Institute does a great survey every year about how much value do you recoup from your investment on different projects. And this is a fascinating review. Most important, you've got to finish your projects. And I say that as a lender. If you have exposed wiring, exposed pipes, unfinished stuff, a classic Fannie Mae Freddie Mac appraisal is going to say, we cannot we cannot go forward with the loan until those things are fixed. It's called subject to completion. In other words, we cannot do the loan as part unless this work is completed. Sometimes that's after the close, but the bottom line is it's a hassle and it can cost you, as they nickel and dime you down or make you, fix it or whatever. So finish up those projects. The top return on investment is manufactured stone veneer at the entryway, and the entry door and the garage replacement door. Now, why those? Because it's curb appeal. The first look at your house is what buyers remember. It feels inviting and attractive. Even then, though, the average cost recouped on this one is 92%. A garage door replacement is 95%. And I will say, even those old white garage doors, they really are kind of dated. You may not feel like they're dated, but they're really kind of dated and average looking. So garage door replacement is also not very expensive. Garage door replacement average job cost is $41.90. And that can make your house look really fresh and nice. Same thing with an entry doorway, 2,374, which by the way, when financed is $13 a month. That is going to give you that curb appeal as you enter. Part of that curb appeal too, which is free, is clearing the landscape, and really that front entry landscape is going to make a huge difference in the value. Even putting a couple of pots of, pretty flowers and things like that can spruce up that entry. When you look at other things, roof replacement, which is pretty expensive, that doesn't get as much return on investment as you would think. Minor kitchen remodels, you get 77% of the value. A deck addition, you get 72%. window replacement, 75%. A bathroom addition was only going to get this lady a 60% cost return on investment. And when I looked in her neighborhood, so she's getting all this pressure to, fix up her add the bathroom because it would sell for more. But when I compared in the neighborhood a 3-1 sales, actual sales comparables of a 3-bedroom, 1 bath to a 3-bedroom, 2 bath, guess what? It was only about $100,000 more. In other words, she was maybe going to recoup dollar for dollar. So if that's the case, why bother remodeling? Just sell. And take your money and run and don't waste the time and effort and energy into remodeling. So, food to think about. Remodeling is best done when the remodeling is for you and your family and your lifestyle. And the highest ROI, of course, is remodeling to get additional rental income. I spoke with another gentleman who's an investor over in Covina, and he's got a 3-bedroom house. It's costing him about $3,000 a month in the monthly mortgage payment, property taxes, and insurance, but it's only renting for 2,500. So he was talking about, geez, should I sell? What should I do? So what we looked at is what are the other rent uh, compilations in that area. Well, it turns out that a 1-bedroom rents for 2,000 per month, and a 2-bedroom should rent for about 2,500, i.e., the same as a 3-bedroom house. So he's looking at walling off the master bedroom and creating a little kitchenette to have a junior ADU. Then he'll have the main house will have a 2-1, and then the garage, he would convert it. It's an attached garage, should be pretty cheap to do. He could probably do all of this for 75,000, and he would bump his rental income from about, I think his 2,500, 2,900, to about $7,000 a month, even 7,500. So that's the kind of ROI you want to look at before diving into remodeling projects. Math doesn't lie, people do. So that's why math is so important. So that's kind of the projects we're looking at today, not just for real estate income, but as people get ready for the holidays and they start thinking about remodeling for the holidays, you have big family discussions about, well, Johnny might have to move out of state because he can't afford to buy a home or live here, or who's going to take care of grandma, should she move into our house? Those are the kinds of discussions you want to take that time over the holidays to have with your family. I'm absolutely convinced the families that plan together and do their financing and real estate together are the absolute strongest. So I'll say that as many times as you'll allow me. So that's kind of what we're up to this week is remodeling and the ROI on remodeling. You're always welcome to book a call on our site and talk for free for 30 minutes to strategize your plans and see if they make sense and yeah, for you and for your family. So have a great week, and we'll see you next Wednesday and every Wednesday live on YouTube. You can also get this podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, or anywhere you get your podcasts. Have a great week.